extra cheese. On one of the sandwiches she asked for bacon. For one of the sandwiches she asked for extra cheese and bacon. And one of the sandwiches she asked for double meat and bacon. So I'm like, great, this lady's ordering a bunch of sandwiches. She's getting a bunch of stuff, so naturally I'm happy because she's ordering a lot, you know? While I'm making these sandwiches, she's telling me that double meat is not enough double meat, that I'm not putting enough cheese on the sandwich, and she even told me that I wasn't making the sandwich right. I mean, the nerve. I've only worked at Subway for 5 years, right? So after getting through the hell of putting the meat on the sandwiches, I finally got to the veggies, and she literally asked me to load these sandwiches up. I'm talking extra lettuce, I'm talking extra onions, literally extra everything. This was literally nightmare fuel. So I finally got through making the sandwiches, and I go to ring this lady up. I asked her, do you want any chips, any cookies, or anything? And her first question was, are those included? Are those free? And, you know, if somebody asks for a free cookie, usually I'll give it to them. But not for this lady. I said, no, you gotta pay whatever the price is on the menu. And she's like, no, I'm good, I don't want it. I'm like, okay, fair enough. So I ring up the price, and this lady starts to go ballistic. She tells me, how come you charge me this much for these sandwiches? And I said, you got double meat, you got extra bacon, you got all these things. And she was trying to tell me that I should not charge for double meat or extra cheese or anything. She was like, I've never been to a place and they charge me extra for extra meat. And I'm like, lady, have you been out of your house for the past 5 years? You go to literally any fast food place or anywhere, they're going to charge you extra for extra meat. I literally loaded these sandwiches up, and she ended up walking out of the store saying she didn't want to pay for them. Dude, I don't get angry when I'm working, but this was something that got me fuming. You give me a hard time. Make me sandwiches. You make me sandwiches very precisely with a lot of stuff on it. You should probably charge me more for it. And you have the nerve to walk out and tell me that I have no idea what I'm talking about. Some people, man. I haven't really seen that lady ever since, and that's been the end of that. Let's hope that Karen doesn't come back into the store anytime soon. Mitchell, have you ever had someone be so rude to you that you started to cry? Oh boy, buckle down for this story. So before I start, I've never cried while at Subway. I will admit, I have cried a few times in my life before, but it can't be more than like 10 times. But there was just one day when I was working at the store with one of my coworkers. I'm not going to say her real name, so for the sake of this video, let's call her Sarah. So Sarah is actually a little bit younger than me, and she has a bit of social anxiety, and I can't really blame her. She got a lot better with it because of the job at Subway, but when she first started out, she could barely talk to the customers, and I kind of had to always like kind of relay the information and try to talk to the customer myself and teach her how to really have better people skills while working the job. There was a day when a lady came into the store and she needed something like 5 sandwiches, and well, Sarah kind of went to the back and was like, hey Melania, I need some help with these sandwiches, could you bring them out? And I was like, why, of course. And I went to the line and I started to help her with these sandwiches, and this woman had very exact instructions as to how to make the sandwiches. Now there's no issue with having exact instructions. Like if you want mayo on the bread first, that's completely okay. If you want me to put stuff on it before it's toasted, that's okay too. But now what we do have a problem with is how you ask. And well, this lady was not asking in the nicest way possible, and it got to the point where me and my coworker literally just looked at each other and were like, what is going on? This is like a grown person and they're talking to us as if we're literally like the scum of the earth. I don't know. It was kind of hurtful in the moment, I'm not gonna lie, because it seemed like every single thing that I was doing would be told that I was doing it wrong. And usually with 5 sandwiches, it should take something like 8 or 9 minutes, but this had to take something like 25 minutes to make these sandwiches for this woman. And well, at one point during the sandwich process, she began to just completely ridicule the way that my coworker was making the sandwiches, and my coworker just kept saying like, I'm trying my best, I'm trying my best. And I was just standing there like, how dare you? Like, this poor girl is just making sandwiches all day. It's not very nice to just keep ridiculing it when you come into the store and you're buying from us. But I kept my mouth completely shut, and obviously she did too. And at the end, well, I guess that my coworker was so like overwhelmed with everything that she charged for 6 sandwiches instead of 5. And well, when this happened, the lady literally lost it. She started to go off and say things like, how could you mess up something so simple? And basically had zero regard for human life in that moment and started to ridicule every single thing that my coworker Sarah was doing. And so I quickly stepped in and I was like, okay, I will just fix this right now. I basically told my coworker to go to the back, and I started to, you know, give the customer like an apology. I didn't really know what to do in the moment, so when that happens, I like to just apologize to the customer. And so I finally got the customer to leave and the store was dead, so I went back there to just check on my coworker, and I literally thought that she was about to cry. It turned out maybe she was just cutting onions in the back, but still a very emotional moment. Okay, my friends, my children, gather around. We have a beautiful story to tell today. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what PDA is. I don't know what it actually stands for, but it basically means people showing each other affection in public. And for some reason, people love to just come into Subway and start making out with each other. Listen, it's different if you're just holding your girl's hand or you have your arm around her shoulder, but why are you making out while you're ordering a Subway sandwich? It makes zero sense to me. I mean, like, it's the least romantic place that you could be. So I had a couple walk into Subway, and, you know, they were really nice at first. They were going through the motions, you know, and I turned around to toast their sandwich, and I turned back around, and they were literally just, like, kissing each other in front of me. Not kissing, they were literally making out. I was like, guys, you want another sandwich? And then it seemed like I just caught them like doing something bad, and they're like, oh no. They were so embarrassed. I felt kind of bad, if I'm being honest. And yo, don't get me started on the older couples. I mean, I literally had one old couple come in. They were so cute together, I gotta admit. But they just started kissing in the Subway. I mean, they were alone, but like they were just kissing each other across the, you know, little table they were eating at in Subway. I was like, oh, this is kind of gross, but that's okay. They seem like nice people. But like if a girl's in the Subway and she's like yanking on her like boyfriend's arm, like give me a kiss, ma'am, this is a Subway. I understand if you want affection from your boyfriend, but holding hands is just gonna have to do it for now. You can't be making out in the store in front of a bunch of other customers, especially when you're getting served food. It's kind of nasty, I'm not gonna lie. And the fact that you take your mask off to kiss each other, like what is going on? Oh wait, but the best is when people kiss with the mask on. That's like a whole nother beast. But anyway, I had another ma'am, this is a Subway moment the other day. Well, it wasn't actually the other day. I'm pretty sure this was like 2.5 years ago. But a woman came into Subway and started asking us if we served tacos. I literally thought that I was being pranked at that moment, but she was dead serious, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't be laughing at this. I'm sorry, ma'am. We do not sell tacos at our Subway. And then she started laughing. I started laughing. You know, I actually did drop the ma'am, this is a Subway.